Good morning, everyone. So today is day 4 of our common class. Till now, we have seen what is floating point representation. We have seen absolute error, relative error. We have understood what is error propagations and all the basic ideas that are required for this particular topic. Now, today we will see, we will understand what is iterative process. What do we mean by acceleration and convergence, and then we will see the transcendental equations and the method of bisection. Now, if you are a student of Assam Engineering College 2020 batch, only then you see this video. If not, then you can kindly skip it. It will be of no use to you. So, what is iteration? Iteration in mathematics basically means doing the same thing again and again. So, applying the same formula again and again, or using the same algorithm again and again. It's iteration. So what in iteration what we do is that we take the output of one iteration and we use it as the input of the next iteration for it to move forward. So that is the iterative process. What is convergence and divergence? Now, as I have told you over here, in an iterative process, I am taking the output of one iteration and I am using it as an input of the next one. Now, by doing so, my function, the solution, I might get a constant solution. The answer might solve, or it will not solve. If it solves, then it is known as convergence, means I am getting to a value which I require. So my solution is converging. My solutions are converging. For example, you are applying a method and you are seeing that the data values, it is moving in this way. In each iterations you are getting a value, and after a particular point of time you are getting a constant value. So this represents that it is a converging solution. Why? Because you see, after a particular n number of iterations, I am getting a fixed value. There might be error, but then also I am getting a fixed value. But what if in its place the values which we are getting in first iteration, I got this value, second here, third here, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10. In this way I am getting a values which is not converging, it is exponentially increasing. In that case, this is divergence. So this one is convergence, this one is divergence. In convergence, what will happen? At each iteration, after completing each iteration, the value which I am getting, it is giving me a constant value. When the two iterations will be giving me a constant value. So that's convergence. Okay, and in divergence, what will happen? It will never constant. I will never get a constant value. I will never get a constant value. It will only be increasing. So that's divergence. Now, what is acceleration constants? Uh, these are sort of catalysts. I mean, if you have done chemistry, then you know that catalysts are substances that we add to the um, equations in order to accelerate the process. Now, it will not impact the algorithm, but it will only accelerate the steps required to get the output. So those are acceleration constants. As we will be seeing in doing the numericals, we will come across them. But you must understand, acceleration constants are constants that will not change the equation. It will not change the equation. It will only increase the process of the equations. So that iteration. That is the work of acceleration constants. Okay, so we have understood what is iterative process, convergence, and acceleration constants. Now let's see what are transcendental equations. Now, equations, the equations which are having, it can be either be an algebraic equation or it can be a transcendental equation. Now, what is an algebraic equation? Algebraic equations are such pure polynomial equations are algebraic equation. For example, this x square plus 2x plus 1. Here I have only x. There are no um, cos term, sine term, log term. So these are pure polynomials and these are known as algebraic equations. But in transcendental equations, we will either have cos, sine, tan, such kind of trigonometric functions or log function, exponential functions, as for this example. So these are transcendental equations. No matter what type of equation you are having, whether it is a algebraic equation or a transcendental equation, the method of iterations applied will be same. So the procedure is not going to change. The only thing is that you must um, pay attention to how you perform this, especially this um, trigonometric functions. What do I mean by that? I will tell you later on when I will be doing the numerical. Now there are many methods of solving such kind of equations. The most common five are bisection method, regular Falsey method, NR method means Newton-Raphson method, the second method, and the iterative method, successive approximation method. To be honest, the method of solution is more or less the ideology is same for all of them. The basic ideology which I will be discussing right now, it's same for all of them. It's how you do that changes. So keep that in mind. So before going to the fundamental, let me give you a brief idea about what we're trying to accomplish. Now, suppose I have such kind of equation. Equation is x cube minus 2x is equals to 3. So I have the algebraic equation. Now, let me replace this particular equation. Let me bring this 3 in the left hand side. So what will I do? If I bring it over here, then I will have minus over here and I will have is equals to 0, isn't it? Now, okay, before I do this, now what do you mean by root? Root is that particular value of x for which my left hand side is equals to right hand side. So for what value of x, this particular value x cube minus 2x will be 3, that is my root, isn't it? Now we can also, if I replace this particular equation and I bring my 3 on the right hand side, now what is the root? Root is that value of x for which x cube minus 2x minus 3 is equals to 0. I have only rephrased the question. I have not changed the idea of solving the solution, isn't it? So root definition is same. The only thing is that I have brought everything which is present on my right hand side to the left hand side. I have just moved it over here. Now let me consider this entire thing, this x cube minus as f of x. So can't I write f of x is equals to x cube minus 2x minus 3 is equals to 0, isn't it? And let me represent this f of x as y. So what is y? Y is the final output value. What is f of x? This equation. And what do I want to accomplish? I want to accomplish that for what value of x, this f of x is equals to 0. For what value of x, this f of x is equals to 0. That means for what value of x, x cube minus 2x minus 3 is equals to 0. Now let's look it in terms of a diagram. Suppose this is my y-axis. This is my y-axis. And this is my x-axis. And this f of x, x cube minus 2x minus 3, it will have some form. Let me assume that this is this kind of form. So what do I want to accomplish? I want to find, what do I want to find out? I want to find out this point. Why? Because this is the point of x at which the value of y is 0. So this is my root. This is my root. So that's my goal. My goal is to convert whatever equation I have. I want to convert it in the form of y is equals to f of x is equals to 0. And then I want to use some kind of method, or you may name it any method, but I want to use some kind of method to find out this particular value of x for which my y is 0. If I can find that value of x, then I am having my root. So that is the idea. Okay? So this is the basic idea. So as you can see over here, y is equals to f of x. I am plotting it in this y-axis, and this is my x, is the root, and this is some equation. Initially I don't know the value. That's the reason I am solving it, isn't it? So I am going to assume certain values. Now this assumption can be based on many things. Now in real life, these assumptions are based on um, based on the preconditions which we take. let there be temperature constant, pressure constant, environmental constant. So such kind of constants which we consider, we are going to incorporate them and we are going to assume the first value. Or we may start randomly at any point and then we will proceed forward looking at the diagram. So let me assume that first I take value of x as a, then f of a is positive, so I'm getting a positive value. Okay, it should be, then again I put another value for x and I find it is a negative value. So for one value of a I am getting a positive value, for one value of x I am getting a negative value. So for one value I am getting a positive, for one I am getting a negative. So what does it convey? It conveys that my root lies between this. Why? Because I have told you what is the root. Root is that value of x for which my function is 0. The f of x is 0, isn't it? So for one value I am getting positive, for another value I am getting negative. That means from negative to positive, the change, there is some value where it is 0. Hence this is my root. So the root lies between. Please pay attention to one thing. Over here while writing I have written f of a is positive, but while drawing I have made it negative, so keep that in mind. This is wrong. So this should be f of a, this should be f of a, and this is f of a. Okay. Let us see this example. X cube minus 2x minus 5. X cube minus 2x minus 5. So let me assume it to be f of x cube minus 2x minus 5. So if I put 0 over here, what will happen? 0 cube minus 2 into 0 minus 5 is minus 5 only, so it is negative. Then let me put 1. 1 cube minus 2 into 1 minus 5 is 1 minus 2 minus 5 means 1 minus 7 means minus 6. Then let me put 2. If I put 2, what will happen? 2 cube minus 2 into 2 minus 5. So 2 to 8 minus 4 minus 5. So what I'm getting? I'm getting minus 1. I'm getting minus 1. Now let me put 3 over here. Then what will happen? If I put x is equals to 3, then 3 cube minus 2 into 3 minus 5. And it is at 27 minus 6 minus 5 means 27 minus 11, that is 16. It is a positive value. So what did I get? I found that for f is equals to, for x2 the function is negative, for x3 the function is positive. That means the value for x over here, for x value of 3 it is positive, for 2 it is negative. So my value lies between 2 and 3. That's what I can conclude. The root lies between 2 and 3, because when it changes from 2 to 3, it moves from minus 1 to some positive value. So there should be 0 between them. Okay, this is what I was speaking about in my initial points, that if I have a transcendental equations and it is a trigonometric function, please keep this your calculator at radian. So you know your calculator can calculate in radian in degree. Keep it at radian. Why at radian? Because if you keep it at radian, I mean if it is in degree, then there will be computational error. Why? Because this will be your natural number and this will be in degree, so it will not be compatible. So keep that in radian. Apart from that, the method is same. See, f of x is this. If I put 0 over here, so you will find 0. If it is minus 1, you can calculate it, it will be minus 2. When it is minus 2, it is this. So from x is equals to minus 1 to x is equals to minus 2, my function is going to become 0 at one point, isn't it? From minus 2.36, the value is going to 0.36. So within minus 1 and minus 2, there is a value of x for which I am getting f of x is equals to 0, which is my root. So my value is minus 2. So in bisection method, what we do? It's a very simple method. First, No matter what do I have in my right hand side, no matter what I have on the right hand side, I will take everything on the left hand side and I will make this function f of x is equals to 0. Now I will use trial and error method to find out the first two assumed roots. So for one f of a I'm getting positive, for f of b I'm getting negative, or for f of a I can get negative and f of b I can get positive. It doesn't matter. But whatever you're taking, you have to take it to be constant. Okay, na? So for one I am getting positive, one for I am getting negative. Now what is the first approximated root using the bisection method? So whatever you have got this a and b, you will just divide it by 2. Okay, let's see this. Now before I start, let me tell you that bisection method is also known as interval halving method. Why? Because obviously I am going to halve the interval. So I have, for one x value I am getting negative, for another x value I am getting positive. I will assume that it is the midpoint that is the solution. Now bisection method is not the fastest method of solving. Remember that it is the most reliable, because your solution will converge if you start correctly. So as you can see, for f of a it is positive, for f of b it is negative, and this is the solution obviously. But in bisection method what it does is that it just divides it, the f of a and f of b, and finds out another parameter x. Now obviously this x of x is not the solution, but it is close to the solution, isn't it? This f of a was far away from my true solution, this was also far away from true solution, but when I have divided a plus b divided by 2 and I find the midpoint, it is closer to the solution. So that is what I'm trying to accomplish over here. Let me again explain it to you. Suppose for some value of x I am getting a f of a to be positive. So f of a is positive. For some value of b I am getting a negative value. What do I am telling that? I will be taking a plus b divided by 2 and I will find out another parameter called c. Now this c can be the true solution, can be over here or can be over, it does not matter. Now if this c is over here, means f of c is negative. Then what do I mean? We understand that my solution lies between the c and a now, isn't it? Now in its place, if this c, f of c, this f of c was positive, then what would have done? Then it would have been over here. In that case, what we have done is that we would have taken b and a, and we are going to consider the next one, b plus c divided by 2, and I'm going to find out the next term, c dash. So that's what we are going to do over here. So first, for a particular value of a, I'm getting function f of a is negative, for another value of b I'm getting is positive. So obviously my root lies between a and b. I am approximated my first value, which is x1 is equals to a plus b divided by 2, and I'm calculating what is the value of my function at f x1, isn't it? If it is negative, then I will consider, if it is negative, then I will not consider a, I will consider f of x1 as to my roots lies between x1 and b. Then again I will consider x2. If it is over here, then I will consider this and this point, and hence this way we'll keep on doing it till we reach an error. Error in the sense when we have a up to, suppose I ask you to find out 3 decimal places. So if 2 consecutive numbers are having uh, same 3 decimal places, in that case we will stop the iteration over here. So let's see this with an example: x cube minus x minus 4 is equals to 0 up to 3 decimal places, isn't it? So f of 0 is minus 4, f of 1 is minus 4, f of 2 is plus 2. So my root lies between 1 and 2. Now you see, we can go deeper into the solution by using the point values also. Now why I do this? Because by doing so we can reduce the number of steps required to solve it. Now I know that for f of 1 it is minus 4, but at f of it is positive Now let's see what happens at f of 1.5. I'm getting a negative value. At 1.6 I'm getting a negative value. At 1.7 also I'm getting a negative value, but at 1.8 I'm getting a positive value. So in place of starting from 1 and 2, why not start from 1.7 and 1.8? It is more closer to the solution, isn't it? Please see. Okay, Salva. F of 1 of আমি minus 4 পাই আছো, f of 2 আমি plus 2 পাই আছো. So yes, I can use this 1 as a, this 2 as b, and I can calculate my c as a plus b by 2. So isn't it? So if I take a plus b plus 2 means 1 plus 2 divided by 2 means 3 by 2, which is 1.5. But 1.5 is not the solution. Why not go deeper into the solution? So what will I take is that I will take another value 1.5. I've seen it to negative y. Then 1.6 salo, it to negative y. 1.7 salo, negative y. But 1.8 it positive value. So what we can conclude that my root lies between 1.7 and 1.8. That's the conclusion. So a is 1.7, b is 1.8. Let's find out the midpoint. Now let's find the function value at 1.75. So just put 1.75 over here. 1.75 to the power 3 minus 1.75 minus 4. We'll find out this value. Now see, what is this? This is negative, means this one. So here 1.7 was giving me a negative value, 1.8 was giving me a positive value. The midpoint which I found out, 1.75, if I put it in my function, I'm getting a negative value. So my new root should be between this and this, between this value and this value. এইটো ভালকে চাবা দেই, এইটো একদম ভালকে মন দিয়া ইয়াতে। তুমি 1.7 কাৰণে নেগেটিভ ভ্যালু 1.7 ৰুট কাৰণে তুমি এটা ভ্যালু পাইছা নেগেটিভ, 1.8 তুমি পাইছা পজিটিভ। এতিয়া তুমি যেতিয়া মিড পইণ্টটো ওলালা, তোমাৰ মিড পইণ্টটো হ'ল 1.75। এতিয়া 1.75 টো যেতিয়া ফাংচনত বহাবা সেইটো নেগেটিভ ভ্যালু হয়। ইয়াত কি হৈ আছে চোৱা, এক্সাম্পলটো চাই লওঁ। a হ'ল 1.75 নেগেটিভ ভ্যালু, 1.75 ত নেগেটিভ ভ্যালু পাইছা ফাংচনত, আৰু 1.7 আৰু 1.8 1.7 ত নেগেটিভ ভ্যালু পাইছা, আৰু তোমাৰ 1.8 ত তুমি পজিটিভ ভ্যালু পাইছা। তুমি ইয়াৰ মিড পইণ্টটো ওলালা, তুমি ইয়াৰ মিড পইণ্টটো ওলাইছা। মিড পইণ্টটো তোমাৰ কি হ'ল, তোমাৰ মিড পইণ্টটো হ'ল 1.7 প্লাছ 1.8 divided by 2, যোনটো হ'ল তোমাৰ 1.75। তো তুমি ওলালা যে ফাংচন f at 1.75 কিমান হয়, তুমি পালা কি, তুমি পালা যে 1.75 ত এইটো নেগেটিভ ভ্যালু পাই আছা। সো তুমি এটা 1.75 ত তুমি এটা নেগেটিভ ভ্যালু পাই আছা। তেতিয়া তুমি কি কৰিবা, তুমি কি এছুম কৰিব পাৰিবা যে তোমাৰ এই 1.75 আৰু 1.8 ৰ মাজতে তোমাৰ ভ্যালুটো আছে, isn't it? So তুমি জাস্ট আপডেট কৰি দিবা। এতিয়া 1.8 to 1.7 নলবা, এইটো তুমি 1.75 ল'বা, আকৌ সেম বস্তুটো কৰিলা, আকৌ নেগেটিভ পালা, তাৰ মানে 1.75 নহয়, এতিয়া 1.775 ত তোমাৰ হ'ব লাগিব। সেনেকে তুমি গৈ থাকিবা, আকৌ নেগেটিভ পাইছা, তাৰ মানে এইটো 1.8 আছে, এনেকে আপডেট কৰি কৰি এই চোৱা, এইটোত তুমি কি পাই গলা, পজিটিভ পাই গলা। চাই ল'বা আৰু সেনেকে সেনেকে তুমি কৰি কৰি যোৱা। At one point of time you will find out that তোমাৰ two consecutive roots same আছে, b value 1.796 হৈ আছে, আৰু তোমাৰ যোনটো তুমি ক্যালকুলেট কৰিছা এইটো 1.76 আছে। এই থ্ৰী ডেসিমেল প্লেচটো একুৰেট, তোমাৰ আনসাৰটো 1.796 হৈ যায়। So this is dissection method। এটা এনেকে টেবুলাৰ মেথড কৰিব পাৰা, তুমি টেবুল বনাব পাৰা, a আৰু b তোমাৰ ফাইনেল ভ্যালু হ'ব, f of a of b ওলাব পাৰিবা, মিড পইণ্ট ওলালা, ফাংচনটো মিড পইণ্টত কি ভ্যালু হয়, জাস্ট চেঞ্জ কৰি থাকিবা, এইটো দেখা তেনেকুৱা হ'ব। So I am giving you homework. Use bisection method to find out the x cube হতে ওপৰত হয়, এনেকুৱা কৰা ওপৰত হ'ব। Okay, please এইটো this is this, এইটো এনেকুৱা হ'ব, x cube minus 4x minus 8.95 is equals to 0। এইটো চাবা দেই, এইটো ওপৰত আছে x cube। So kindly do this, to কৰি চোৱাচোন। কেনেকৈ পাবা তোমাৰ ফাৰ্ষ্ট এফক যদি 2 ধৰা আৰু 3 ধৰা তো 2 আৰু 3 মাজতে পাবা তুমি ইয়াতে 2 কাৰণে ভেলু পাবা পজিটিভ নিগেটিভ হ'ব পাৰে বা এইটো হ'ব পাৰে মাজৰ ভেলুটো পালা তুমি চেঞ্জটো ওলালা 0.5 হৈ আছে এইটো আৰু ফাইনেল সলিউশ্যন হ'ব 0.5 হৈ আছে ফাংচন এই ভেলুত কিমান পালা এনেকৈ টেবল কৰি এটা লাষ্টত গৈ চাবাচোন দুটা কনজিকিউটিভ ভেলুজ তোমাৰ 3 ডেচিমেল প্লেচলৈকে চেম হৈ আছে সেইকাৰণে ডিফাৰেন্সটো 0.00000 হৈ গৈছে নৰ্মেলি গোটেইকেইটা 3 ডেচিমেল প্লেচলৈকে সেইটো লৈ যায় so this is the significant আকৌ এবাৰ কৈ আছো for what value of x I am getting a positive and negative value এনেকুৱা তুমি initial point ওলালা 1 আৰু 2 বুলি গম পাইছা আকৌ ভিতৰত সোমাই যাব পাৰিবা সোমাই পেলাই তুমি ওলালা positive and negative value কোনটো so right now starting with 1.7 and 1.8 তাৰপিছত তুমি midpoint ওলালা চালা যে তাতে পজিটিভ হৈ আছে নেগেটিভ হৈ আছে ডিপেণ্ডিং upon that আপডেট কৰি থাকিবা okay just how many iterations are required to solve এইটো যদি তুমি ওলাব খোজা then you can use this method minimum number of iterations it is required a আৰু b তোমাৰ initial conditions হয় epsilon টো হ'ল তোমাৰ আকৌ 3 decimal place বুলি কৈছে তো তুমি এই হিচাপত তুমি error ল'বা এনেকৈ হিচাপত ল'বা তোমাক কৈ দিব পাৰে লক্ষ্যটো হয় so this is the this method now this formula it is not accurate 100% to man nokho je to accurate hobo but it will give you a rough idea about how many steps are required now keep one thing in mind ke ইয়াত যদি মই 1 আৰু 2 লৈ start কৰিলো হয় 1 আৰু 2 লৈ start কৰিলো হয় তেতিয়া the number of steps required to solve this would have been many more than what we have achieved now এতিয়া তো a b c d e f g মানে 7টা stepতে আমি পাই গৈছো solution কিন্তু আমি যদি 1 আৰু 2 ললো হয় তেতিয়া কিন্তু বহুত step লাগিলে হয় but just because I have gone deeper into the roots and I found out একদম ওচৰত কি হৈছে সেনেকৈ পাইছো না তুমি এইটো আৰু ডিপত যাব পাৰা তুমি 1.7 আৰু 1.8 ৰ ভিতৰত পাইছা তো তুমি এইটো 1.75 ক্যালকুলেট কৰিব পাৰিবা ইয়াতে 1.7 চালা পজিটিভ আৰু নেগেটিভ হয় যদি নেগেটিভ হয় তেতিয়া 1.75 আৰু 1.8 ৰ ভিতৰতে হ'ব তোমাৰ so this is how we do it if you have any problem you can WhatsApp me or you can post in Google Classroom thank you